Low testosterone is becoming more and more common nowadays. And although a lot of men quickly opt for TRT, which has become way easier than it should be since there are a lot of people out there already taking advantage of this trend for obviously financial purposes, the truth is that any health professional with an ounce of decency will tell you that there are many things that you can do and you should do before you start injecting yourself with exogenous testosterone. After all, TRT has a lot of health risks, especially if you do it before exhausting all these natural solutions. So before we dive into what you can do to naturally boost your testosterone, let's see how low levels can have a negative impact on your life and what are the signs that you might take into consideration if you're suspecting that this is something that might be affecting you. One common way that low testosterone can affect men over 40 can be low energy. And if your battery is always low to the point that you can perform at work, you come home and you crash on the couch before you even manage to say hello to your kids and wife, you're absent-minded all the time and you don't even have the energy to do the things that you love anymore, then this might be a sign that you probably have to start making some changes in your life, which we'll be talking about pretty soon. Especially if you're a family man, being at your 100% for all the responsibilities that you have to juggle is no joke. Either you like it or not, having enough muscle mass and strength is almost a prerequisite in your life, as you're constantly picking heavy things off the floor and carrying them up and down and around the house, from little creatures such as your kids to daily groceries, furniture, and carrying heavy suitcases when you're on vacation. Even the more fun stuff such as playing and wrestling and roughhousing with your kids requires you to be in shape. Whatever the case, you have to always be available for everyone, since your kids won't always understand and care about how you might be suffering, let's say for example from lower back pain or a bad shoulder or a knee injury. And the best way to bulletproof all these structures is surrounding them with enough muscle mass that is built and maintained through functional strength training. On top of that, gaining more weight, or to be more specific, adding more fat, which is also linked to low testosterone, on a frame that is already getting weaker will only speed up such pains and injuries. Plus, it will also probably affect your overall physical health and your ability to be an active and positive role model in your family. Another thing that might be linked with low testosterone can be also poor emotional health. And what sucks even more with that is that feeling this way doesn't just affect you, it actually impacts everyone around you, which is again especially important if you are at that, since you play a crucial role when it comes to maintaining a positive and stable environment at home. Lastly and not leastly, a decreased libido, which can also be linked to low testosterone, will eventually lead to relationship stress, whereas a healthy sex life almost always contributes to a stronger bond with your partner, which in turn will also positively impact the entire family's emotional stability. So, although testosterone naturally drops with age, which becomes pretty apparent after 40, you shouldn't use this as an excuse, since there are plenty of powerful ways to slow this process down and maintain your vitality. The top 5 of these are: number 1, strength training, which I kind of gave away previously, a healthy diet, getting enough sleep, stress management, and getting sufficient sunlight and vitamin D. Now, if just hearing about all these changes overwhelms you, don't worry, that's just natural, since addressing all 5 of these together is almost impossible. But there is a way to do this a lot smarter, by sequencing the right habits first, which is also called habit stacking. Specifically, the best way to do this is to start with strength training and exposure to sunlight first. Because once these 2 things become part of your daily routine, the rest of the habits we talked about can be added a lot easier, since a peace of mind, which is a prerequisite for good sleep and more effective stress management, is reached a lot easier if you start from peace of body first. In other words, blowing off steam through physical exertion leads to better sleep and stress management the coming days. And once these two things are in place, then having more self-control and making better nutritional choices comes also a lot more effortlessly. It's basically how I got out of my 6-year depression after my accident and the amputation of my leg. And it's how we also help busy dads with common problems in our coaching program. By the way, if you want to learn more about our coaching, you can always check out the application in the top comment below. Or if you prefer a DIY approach, make sure you subscribe to our newsletter, since we are working on something new related to today's topic that we'll be only sharing with our email subscribers. So stay posted. Now, if all this sounds great on camera, but you're still wondering where the heck can a busy guy like me find the time to work out, and on top of that, also take long walks on the beach as if you're a 90s beauty pageant contestant, here's a crazy idea. How about coupling these two things together? Fun fact here, Arnold and the famous California bodybuilders of the 70s actually swore by combining sunbathing and strength training for its muscle building effects. Still, if you don't live near Muscle Beach in Venice, don't worry, I'm not going to have you carry barbells and plates to your neighborhood park. The solution is actually a lot simpler. 3 decades ago, most gym bros would laugh at the idea of building muscle without using weights, yet after resurfacing and becoming super popular in recent years, no one really doubts anymore the effectiveness of calisthenics. Sure, you might not be able to look like a stage competing bodybuilder just by using bodyweight training, but if you know what you're doing, then you can definitely build a strong and lean, rugged dad physique. Therefore, my recommendation is training outdoors, getting that calisthenics session outside. This way you expose yourself at the same time to sunlight and you are basically killing two birds with one stone. Plus, keep in mind that besides hormone regulation and making testosterone available for use, vitamin D and exposure to natural light is connected to a bunch of other benefits as well. The reason I recommend doing it in the morning is because that's when sunlight is less intense and therefore you reduce sunburn risk while also improving sleep quality even more the coming night. Overall, after personally struggling with stress and flirting with depressive states for years and having tried all kinds of different things, what I found is nothing beats an outdoor morning calisthenics workout routine. It's a simple habit that can literally transform your life, and it's definitely saved mine. The other cool thing about all this is that if you train smart, even just 20 minutes a day can be enough for you to reap all the benefits we talked about. Once again, this is not just me saying all this. There's a ton of research which I'll be including in the top comment below. So as passionate as I might sound about this topic, it all comes from, personal experience. It comes from so much research that is out there. I've seen it work in other men as well. And I personally believe that if Big Pharma could actually package outdoor morning calisthenics in a pill, it would probably be the most widely prescribed and beneficial medicine for men over 30, 40, and 50 in the world. Alright, so to wrap up a big video today, especially if you spend a lot of time indoors, working out outdoors will be a game changer for you. Still, if you're just getting started, visiting a crowded calisthenics park can be somewhat awkward in the beginning for a beginner in his late 30s or 40s or 50s, especially during rush hours. These parks are often filled with a bunch of 25-year-old dudes that are in amazing shape and will, often size up every new guy that steps foot in the park. This is why I'm more of a fan of peace and solitude, which is another extra benefit if you train early in the morning. The early morning quiet combined with the physical exertion will help you clear your head while centering your mind for the rest of the day. Plus, especially as a beginner, it also helps you focus on yourself without distractions and without allowing your ego to overshadow your form. So if you have a calisthenics park nearby, my advice is to still check it out early in the morning. Even if it's somewhat crowded, you'll see that there's a whole different vibe at this time of the day there. If not, get a set of rings and find a nearby basketball court to set them up, as I like to do. Make sure you're following a proper plan that doesn't leave you feeling destroyed, but rather helps you start your day feeling energized and refreshed, while also helping you get stronger, since progress is also important for staying motivated. And lastly, vitamin D wise, keep in mind that the more of your body that is exposed, the more vitamin D you get. So if, like me, you are cursed with ginger skin pigment, try to train as much as possible in shorts, in t-shirts, in tank tops, or even topless in the summer if you want to maximize that vitamin D absorption. That was all for today. If you have any questions, as usual, leave them in the comment section below. If you want to learn more about our coaching, check out the top and comment, and make sure you also subscribe to our newsletter, since we have some pretty cool things coming up. And until next time, keep on training.